Breaking. The UK government just fired itself. Minutes ago, Parliament dissolved. Every single MP lost their seat, and the country is now heading into one of the most explosive elections in decades. Here's what just happened, and why it matters to you. Breaking moments ago. King Charles III signed the order. Parliament is officially closed. The Prime Minister made the announcement outside number 10 in pouring rain, a symbol many are calling prophetic. No laws can pass, no debates can happen. The entire political system just hit the reset button. And if you want to follow this election as it unfolds, because trust me, this is going to get messy, hit subscribe now. We'll be breaking down every major move, every scandal, and every twist until election day. This wasn't supposed to happen yet. Political analysts expected an autumn election. Instead, the Prime Minister called it early, and the timing tells you everything. Why now? Because waiting could have been worse. Falling polls, economic pressure, NHS crises, immigration backlash. The government is bleeding support, and this election might be their last chance to control the narrative before it completely collapses. Think about it. If you're losing a game, do you let the clock run out, or do you force a risky play while you still have a shot? That's exactly what just happened. The Prime Minister saw the writing on the wall. More bad economic news coming, more scandals waiting to break, more time for the opposition to build momentum. So instead of waiting for disaster, he called the election now, hoping to catch everyone off guard. Standing in the rain outside Downing Street, the Prime Minister delivered what many are calling one of the most defensive speeches in modern political history. He opened by saying the decision wasn't taken lightly. He talked about economic recovery after the pandemic. He claimed credit for reducing inflation and controlling illegal immigration. He framed the election as a choice between stability and chaos, warning voters that switching leaders now would be a dangerous gamble. But here's the problem. The public isn't buying it. Recent polls show trust in the government at historic lows. People are angry about broken promises. Remember when they said they'd fix the NHS? It's worse than ever. Waiting times are through the roof. Staff are quitting. Hospitals are overwhelmed. And instead of solutions, voters got excuses. Then there's the economy. Yes, inflation has dropped slightly, but wages haven't kept up. Energy bills are crushing families. Rent is skyrocketing. Groceries cost more every week. The cost of living crisis isn't over. It's just evolved into something people have learned to survive, not overcome. And when the Prime Minister talks about economic success, millions of people struggling to pay their bills don't feel it. The speech tried to connect with ordinary people. The Prime Minister spoke directly to workers, families, and small business owners, saying he understands their struggles and wants to earn their trust again. But the delivery felt hollow. It sounded like a man trying to justify his record instead of inspiring confidence in the future. And there was another telling moment. After finishing his statement, the Prime Minister turned and walked back inside number 10 without taking a single question from reporters. That wasn't an accident. It was a calculated move to avoid giving the media any soundbite that could be used against him. But it also made him look evasive, like someone running away from accountability, and the opposition was ready. Within minutes, Labour leader Keir Starmer released a statement. No hesitation, no waiting, just a full-on assault. The Conservatives have run out of ideas, and now they've run out of time, he said. Starmer is calling this election a chance to finally turn the page on years of failure and decline. Labour's campaign strategy is already clear. Paint the government as exhausted, out of touch, and stuck in the past. They're focusing on three big themes: rebuilding the economy, fixing the NHS, and restoring trust in politics. Starmer is positioning himself as the pragmatic, serious alternative. No wild promises, no radical plans, just steady, competent leadership. The Liberal Democrats, led by Ed Davey, wasted no time jumping in. Davey said this is the chance to get rid of this out-of-touch government once and for all. The Lib Dems are targeting specific Conservative seats, places where voters have traditionally supported the Tories, but are now frustrated and open to switching. They're campaigning hard on local issues: NHS care, community services, fixing potholes. It sounds small, but local issues win elections. Then there's Reform UK. Richard Tice and Nigel Farage are running a campaign aimed at people who feel betrayed by both major parties. Their message is simple and aggressive: tougher immigration controls, lower taxes, stronger borders, and a rejection of Westminster elites. Reform UK probably won't win many seats, but they could split the Conservative vote in key areas, handing victories to Labour. That's the nightmare scenario for the Prime Minister. The Scottish National Party is using this election to push independence harder than ever. Leader John Swinney argues that Westminster doesn't care about Scotland, Both Labour and the Conservatives have failed Scottish voters, and the only solution is independence. If the SNP loses significant seats, the independence movement could stall for years. Even the Green Party is seizing the moment, targeting younger voters who care about the environment and feel ignored by the major parties. The Greens won't win many seats, but they could pull votes away from Labour in close races, and in some constituencies, the margin of victory could be just a few hundred votes. So let's break down what happens next. Parliament is dissolved, meaning it's officially closed. Every MP loses their seat, except government ministers, who stay temporarily to handle essential duties. But they can't pass new laws. They can't make major policy decisions. The country is in a holding pattern. The campaign period begins, usually lasting about 6 weeks. During this time, candidates will travel the country, holding rallies, knocking on doors, and appearing in media interviews. Party leaders will face off in televised debates, and these debates matter. A strong performance can shift the polls overnight. A disaster can end a campaign. One bad night can destroy months of preparation. Each party will publish a manifesto, a detailed contract with voters listing all their promises. The Conservatives will focus on economic stability, national security, and immigration control. Labour will focus on rebuilding the NHS, creating jobs, and reducing living costs. The Liberal Democrats will push for NHS reform and local community support. Reform UK will campaign on immigration and tax cuts. The Greens will focus on climate action and social justice. The UK is divided into 650 constituencies. Each one elects a single MP. The party that wins the most seats usually forms the government. But if no party gets a majority, 326 seats or more, the UK faces a hung parliament. That means no one has enough power to govern alone, leading to coalition talks and political uncertainty. To vote, people must be registered. Voting can be done in person at a polling station by postal vote or by proxy vote. Polling stations open early on election day and close at 10 p.m. Then the count begins. Election night is one of the biggest broadcast events in British politics. Results start coming in around midnight. By sunrise, the picture usually becomes clear. This election will determine more than just who sits in number 10. It will shape taxes. If Labour wins, expect higher taxes on the wealthy and corporations to fund public services. If the Conservatives hold on, expect continued spending restraint. It will determine NHS funding. Labour has promised to pour billions into the health service. The Conservatives say they'll manage it more efficiently, but critics say that's code for more cuts. It will affect education. Schools are struggling with budget shortfalls and teacher shortages. The next government will decide whether to invest massively or continue squeezing budgets. It will shape immigration policy. Reform UK wants strict caps and deportations. Labour wants a fair but firm approach. The Conservatives are caught in the middle, and it will determine Britain's role on the world stage. How close will the UK stay to Europe? What's the relationship with the United States? Will the UK push harder on climate commitments or pull back to focus on domestic growth? Businesses are already reacting. Investors are watching closely. The value of the pound could shift depending on who wins. If the election produces a clear winner with a strong mandate, markets will stay calm. But if it results in a hung parliament, expect volatility. Currency fluctuations, stock market uncertainty, investment delays. But here's the question no one can answer yet. Can the Conservatives survive this? The polls suggest a Labour landslide. Some projections show the Conservatives losing more than half their seats. If that happens, it would be one of the worst defeats in party history. But elections are unpredictable. One scandal can change everything. One viral debate moment can shift the race. One unexpected crisis can flip the entire narrative overnight. Remember, the Conservatives have been in power for over a decade. They've survived Brexit, COVID, multiple leadership changes, and economic crises. They know how to fight elections. Labour hasn't won a general election since 2005. Keir Starmer has never led a national campaign. He's untested under this kind of pressure. So while the polls look bad for the government, never count them out. Over the next 6 weeks, anything can happen. One moment of brilliance, one devastating attack ad, one policy announcement that captures the public imagination. This story is just beginning. Tomorrow we'll break down the campaign strategies in detail. Which seats are the real battlegrounds? What are the key issues that will decide this election? What are the moments to watch? The debates, the gaffes, the surprises that could change everything. This is history happening in real time, and you're watching it unfold. So here's what I need you to do. First, drop a comment right now. Who do you think will win this election? Are we about to see a Labour landslide? Will the Conservatives pull off a shocking comeback? Could Reform UK cause chaos and split the vote? I want to hear your predictions. Second, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now. This election is going to be one of the wildest political battles in UK history, and we're covering every second of it. Every speech, every scandal, every debate moment. We'll break it all down. Part 2 drops tomorrow, where we'll dive into the campaign war rooms, the dirty tricks, and the strategies each party is using to win. You don't want to miss it. See you there.